Hello all and welcome. My name is Aster Warda. I'm the CHC's Volunteer Public Relations Committee Chair and your host for today's CCH Happy Hour. Tonight, we feature Vatsala Sperling, who will be sharing with us about learning from practice. The purpose of the CCH Happy Hours is to provide homeopaths with knowledge and skills to advance their practice. The Happy Hours are hosted by the Public Relations Committee of the Council for Homeopathic Certification. The CHC is almost entirely volunteer-run, and serving as a volunteer on a board committee like I am is a great way to support our profession and earn CEUs. As you may know, the mission of the CHC is to advance the homeopathic profession by certifying individuals who meet and maintain a recognized standard of professional and ethical competence in classical homeopathy and to assist the general public in choosing appropriately qualified homeopaths. We envision a healthcare system that encompasses certified classical homeopathic practitioners accessible to all. These quarterly happy hour sessions are just one part of how we fulfill our mission. Before I introduce our speaker, a friendly reminder to keep your microphones muted unless you are asking a question. And we would ask that you hold your questions until the end of Vatsala's presentation. We'll have a specific question and answer time after her presentation. Now I would like to introduce our speaker for tonight. Vatsala Sperling CCH is a classical homeopath, speaker, and author. She has a PhD in clinical microbiology. She is a graduate of the School of Homeopathy in the UK. She was the head of microbiology at Child Trust Hospital in southern India. She has worked with the WHO on research projects, and she will be presenting at the upcoming JAHC in April. Vatsala Sperling found out in her rural practice what works and what does not. She took these lessons to heart and grew her practice. She is the author of 10 books, 4 of which are Classic Tales from India, The Ayurvedic Reset Diet, For 7 Lifetimes, and How Ganesh Got His Elephant Head. In addition to being an author, Vatsala translates books and does reforestation work in Costa Rica. Vatsala, we look forward to hearing what you are going to teach us tonight.
It's more like sharing, Alice.
Okay.
Uh-huh. So I thought of keeping the whole topic very light-hearted because it's end of the day. I want everybody to have their happy hour experience and at the same time not be too taxed about trying to learn a lot. It's everything that I'm going to say is completely based on my individual experience in a rural practice. But remember, rural people aren't that different from sophisticated city folks. And each one of them have a power to bring some new revelations to us, provided our eyes are open. And we are ready to learn from everything. So I'll, without going further into this, let me start the screen share and wish me good luck with that. So I click on my screen and it will appear, right? No, share screen. Right here.
Yes, so share screen box, the green box.
I got it.
Okay.
There. Okay. So let's see. Aster, can you see the full slide? Because I'm seeing a panel of people on the side of my
screen. Your full slide is showing. Yes, we can see the slide.
Okay, very good. All right. So learning from experience. This simply translates to me as how to see our clients as teachers. Because we can keep learning homeopathy for rest of our life. There is no end to it, truly. But learning from our clients it can happen in little bits and pieces from time to time. All of a sudden, you get an experience. All of a sudden, nothing is happening for a while. So we have to be ready for it. I have a little journey to share with you. I wasn't always a homeopath. I was prior to being a homeopath, I was a clinical microbiologist working in a busy children's hospital. And then I enrolled in Mission Orland School in 2004 and zoomed along. And 4.5 years later, I was a freshly minted graduate. I started practicing and I was writing books all along. And here are the list of my books. And at the very end, I can't see that part, but this one, colubrid snake remedies and their indication in homeopathy practice. This is my latest book in a subject in homeopathy. And I'll be presenting about this at the upcoming JAHC in Virginia. So all this is going along. Life is good in rural Vermont. I get a graduation note call from Misha Norland, my esteemed teacher, late Misha, he passed away. But what I remember is what he called me about. So, I'm feeling pretty smug about being a fresh graduate. And he's saying, your true education will begin when you start your practice. Teachers will come in all shapes and sizes. Then he says, listen, from books, you can learn everything. You can learn great homeopathy. And then from your patients, you will learn life lessons. Oh, my ears are perked up now. And here I'm thinking, yeah, I graduated. I can handle a practice. I can see the clients, no problem. He's telling me just the opposite. He's saying practice is one side. And what you're actually going to do is learn from your clients. Every day you're going to learn from them. So let's begin. The very first lesson, to name the remedy or not. So I'm going to read a bit from here. It's not a case presentation, but I'm going to give you two contrasts. So a woman, very famous artist by profession, I can't disclose her name because of non-disclosure agreement. So she came for seeing me, and she has high blood pressure. So her constitutional remedy turned out to be Natrum muriaticum, lucky for me. I gave her a vial of her remedy. A neat label displayed the name and potency of the remedy. As she read the label, I saw the color of her face changing from pale to beet red. She raised her voice quite a few notches. I have hypertension. My doctor told me to shun salt. You're giving me Natrum muriaticum table salt, sea salt in this remedy? Is it ethical? She was very mad. She asked. Her voice and words were tinged with anger that she did not try to conceal. She was ready to chop my head off. I had to explain to her the process of dilution and succussion and point out to her that because of these two unique processes used in the preparation of homeopathic remedies, the sweet little globules that bear the name of the original medicinal substance do not carry even a molecule of the original substance. So you're giving me nothing? She was angrier. I had no other option than to describe to her the fundamentals of homeopathy, like cures like, curative action of diluted medicinal substance, and so on. To her credit, she heard me. A few years later, she still gets a few doses of her Natrum muriaticum every now and then, and she has managed her hypertension by changing her lifestyle. And very likely the remedies are also helping her. For the next patient, this guy, I very wisely decided to not disclose the name of the remedy because, I just got burnt. Why should I tell him the name of the remedy? He took the unnamed vial, went home, came back promptly for a follow-up with a happy smile on his face. Now, I could barely contain my excitement of hoping to hear a favorable outcome. And I asked, could you please describe your experience after taking the remedy? He said, I never took the remedy. The vial showed no name. I hesitate to put things in my mouth when I do not know what they are called. If you tell me the remedy name, I'll take them without a fuss. I trust you. Now, 12 years later, this guy still trusts me. Over these years, he has received different remedies for various acutes. I always tell him what I'm giving him. He does an extensive internet search. He has also gotten a few materia medica books and has started reading homeopathy journals. Sometimes I even tell him the logic of why I chose a particular remedy based on his symptoms. He obviously loves to learn. So the lesson I got from these two people is that during case taking, we have to figure out quickly who has the capacity to know the truth and work with it, and who is not ready for truth. And the second lesson is, as practitioners, we have to master bite-sized presentations of the fundamental philosophy of homeopathy and the methods and practices of how the remedies are made and proved. Hard to predict who will appear to test the limits of how little or how much we know. It's very hard to predict. So we have to be prepared. And remember, we can get extremely academic in trying to explain homeopathy. We can start fumbling in various ways because we gotten too sophisticated with our learning of the facts in homeopathy. What we have to do is, when we run into these people, when we run into people who are asking us these kind of, putting us in these kind of situations, we have to have a little understanding of where they are. Just like how our remedies are matched with the clients, our answers also have to match where they are ready to receive. That is what I learned. Next question gets a little bit of like a little debate. Plastic or glass? We can tear our hair apart trying to be very pro-environmental, and we will not use the plastic and we'll only use glass vials. And remember, the glass vials have a plastic screw cap. Gone are the days in Hahnemann's time when he had, cork for stopper in a bottle. We don't use those things. We go for convenience. So we can get polarized and hung up about the benefits and harms of plastic. We can get upset about how microplastic particles can be found in the Arctic, Antarctic, even in our own bodies, and even in mother's breast milk. Stewing in moral indignation, we may opt for amber, blue, green, or colorless glass vials. They come with plastic caps, mind you. This is about us, what we think is right or wrong. But do we ever wonder what the client needs? We have to wonder that. We always have to wonder what our clients need. So I was called upon by a family to offer palliative homeopathic support to a man in final stages of leukemia. Every day he was inching closer to the grave, but the family insisted on homeopathic remedies, and I continued to send whatever was needed in neat little amber vials with screw caps. Toward the very final days of his life, I decided one morning to go see him in the hospital for a friendly visit, more like to say goodbye. He had IV ports on the dorsum of both his hands. After the initial pleasantries, he got straight to the point. He had sufficient energy to speak these words. I wish you had sent me Boyron Blue Tube. I have an easier time twisting and untwisting the cap to get the exact number of pills. In your screw cap vials, pills just roll out and I cannot control them. Sometimes a few even fall to the ground. Nurses and doctors, some of them are okay. Some others make fun of me, or worse still, scold me for trying homeopathy. With the Boyron Blue Tube, I could have been discreet. I could not argue with him. There was nothing to argue about with a dying man. I simply said in a very softened tone, for you, I will make sure to send Boyron Blue Tubes. He died within next couple of days, and his desire for the Boyron Blue Tube was never fulfilled. There's the guy. So the lesson in this, of course, I was very sad to lose this patient. He was not going to be alive. The lesson I got was we must step away from this plastic or glass bottle battle, and we have to think of our clients and provide a method of dispensation that works best for them. It's not about us, it's about our clients. Now, this question we can keep discussing about it for a long time. This question is, combination remedies? Never. It is so anti-Hahnemannian. It's not classical homeopathy at all. You're absolutely right in frowning upon combination remedies. However, I live in rural Costa Rica, very close to the rainforests. It's a very thinly populated area. and houses are spread apart. Some people are out in the jungles, out in the fields, whatever agriculture they are doing. So on occasions, I do encounter clients in remote and rural areas. They do not have a car or any easy transportation to get to me or drive to the big city to see a homeopath. But it is homeopathy that they want to use. One generation earlier, homeopathy was very popular in Costa Rica. So they cannot afford the cost of the few remedies that are a good match for their symptoms, meaning I could not give one remedy, wait and watch the response, then if necessary, climb up in potency or try another remedy. Besides, the mail system is in Costa Rica is not something to brag about, and there are no local pharmacies in rural areas that sell the remedies. What do I do? It's a real life question. I face it. Okay. So a 78 years old woman, she complains of sprained ankle, pain in her foot, leg, and back. The translator described her calf muscles as looking bruised. For relief, I gave her a combination of ruta, arnica, and strontium carb, all in 12C, in a liquid preparation with enough alcohol to prevent contamination. 2 weeks later, she's better and I'm relieved. In my heart, I have asked Hahnemann to forgive me. I strayed from what he taught. I did what was necessary for my client in the current day and age, and what would bring her relief given her living condition. The outcome turned out to be optimum. Either one of three, two of the three, or all three remedies could have helped her, or maybe the process of creating a combination remedy killed all three remedies and she got better because of the placebo effect. I don't know. The bottom line is when the client wanted to use homeopathy, she got it. She got better. What do I learn? I find myself not being troubled by the existence of combination remedies and the arguments for or against them. I just don't want to bother about that argument. Commercial homeopathic pharmacies sell hundreds and thousands of them for all sorts of complaints. If a person finds relief from his or her suffering by using a combination remedy, the heat of the argument pales in comparison to the glow of good health on the face of the person. The lesson for me here, and I'm sure in your own practice, you will also encounter, look at this vastness, look at this wilderness, where you see these kind of areas, they have cut down the trees. Look at this vast expanse of greenery and how few the houses are. Now, if they want homeopathy, they have to go over the mountain across some other state of the country and get to the main part of the country where they'll get homeopathy. So I'm not going to argue with them about combination remedy and this and that. The lesson here is, if necessary, do not hesitate to use combination remedies, though in ideal condition, and we have taken a training, we have trained ourselves as classical homeopath, we should prescribe the remedy that matches the best with the symptoms, covers the entire case, give one dose, and wait to see what happens. That is the ideal condition. I have no fight with it. And in exceptional circumstances, we bend the rules, as I just did in this case. And the woman was very happy. So this question is very important, this question. Are you a real doctor? Do you actually see me? You do my pulse and blood pressure, but you're not a medical doctor. How could you examine me? You be ready for this question. If you don't have a medical background like MD or a BHMS from India or something like that. If you don't have that medical background, be ready to hear these set of questions. I have heard them. In our desire to be of help to our clients, we have to be extra vigilant from the first day of our practice and be careful not to overstep the boundaries. It is about boundaries. As non-medical practitioners, we have to be clear about not checking blood pressure and temperature, not asking for various blood tests and diagnostic imaging, not doing any physical examination, not asking our clients to stop their doctor prescribed medication and not creating a doctor patient equation in our practice because we are not medical doctors. Our clients have to be assured that we are not trying to act like doctors. Even though a person might be okay showing us their skin rash, bug bite, eye, nose, ear, tongue, throat, teeth, nails, cuts and bruises, etc. Once this boundary is established and respected, then by all means, we can take a look at the nail and tongue if that helps us gathering symptoms and understanding fully the case in front of us. These observations are clearly not equivalent to medical examination. Lesson here that we can apply in our practice, and both NASH, North American Society of Homeopaths, as well as National Center of Homeopathy, which facilitates certification in classical homeopathy, they both are very strong about this requirement. We must have a consent form, permission form available for patients, our clients, to read and sign. This form must clearly lay out our credentials and declare that we are not medical doctors if we are not, and therefore we do not diagnose, treat, or give medications for any illness. That's the job of real doctors. We do homeopathy. We do Hahnemannian homeopathy. We go by the symptoms, we match it to the remedies, and we prescribe the remedies based on this matching of the symptoms, like cures like. Okay. Will I prove the remedies? Get ready for this one is funny. We take pride in knowing that homeopathic remedies are proven on healthy individuals. They take the remedy, record the symptoms that they experience. A synthesis of these provings and clinical observations together create the chief content of our materia medicas. Some clients have a certain degree of knowledge of homeopathy, and everything is available on the internet. So they are well read and they read books, they read journals, they're quite well read. I'm amazed at how much homeopathy just regular people know. They have also ambiguities and doubts along with knowledge. If I take a few doses of a remedy, will I begin proving it? They might ask. I have been asked that. So this girl is 25 years of age. She comes to see me for premenstrual cramps that were unbearable and very, very bad if she did not hug her knees and use a heating pad. The cramps were severe enough that 2 days before her menses, she remained homebound. I heard the keynotes for magnesia phosphorica and gave her a vial in 30C. She had heard the name of this remedy. Her acupuncturist had done muzzle testing and given it to her in 10 m. It did not work because I never took it. Such a high potency for mere menstrual cramps seemed to me like trying to blast a mosquito with a machine gun. I did not want to begin proving 10 m magnesia phos. Do you think I'll prove it in 30C? No. This is my personal policy, and each one of you might have your own policy about how you want to treat other professionals in the healing field. Each one of you will have your own way of dealing with it, but I'm sharing with you what I do. I have a personal policy of not putting down the prescriptions or recommendations of other practitioners, as well as my peers. I do respect their intelligence and the fact that they might have their own reasons and logic for making a remedy recommendation in a certain potency. But I had to calm this individual who was worried about proving 30C. We will know after you try the remedy, was my initial response. The girl reported a 90% reduction in her suffering. After a few weeks, she experienced a return of cramping and she panicked. Cramps are back. Am I proving max fast? Cramps are back. It's mild enough though. I can go out, do what I need to do, but it's back. Haven't needed a heating pad either, but then it is back. I think I'm proving remedy. Oh my God, I'm proving it. This person needed a crash course on direction of cure as well as the homeopathic principle that a mild aggravation of an existing symptom or a return of an old symptom in a mild form indicates progression of the healing process. It's not proving because to begin with, she was given a remedy that matched her symptoms. She was not taking the remedy as a healthy person without any symptoms. The lesson here is, of course, as a practicing homeopath, we have to commit to our memory the most fundamental laws and aphorisms of homeopathy. These are little nuggets of wisdom, little nuggets of truth we have been given in our hand on a silver platter called the organ. When clients are bogged down by doubt, then referring back to the truth contained in the aphorism can help calm them down. We need to calm our clients. When they are having a meltdown and a freak out, we cannot have equal meltdown. We have to calm them. We should be able to simplify the language of the organon, as we explain. I have recommended books to my clients. I will tell you which ones right here. Venda O'Reilly's Organon of the Medical Art by Dr. Samuel Hahnemann, great book for people to read. Bill Gray's Homeopathy, Science or Myth is a fantastic book for people to read who want to know a little bit more about homeopathy. Absolutely. Then there is another book by Rajan Shankaran, Dr. Shankaran, and this book is known as Homeopathy for Today's World, and I have given a link below. So when your clients are in doubt, when they are freaking out about various aspects of homeopathy, you make it your personal business. We all have to do that to calm them down, to reassure them in a peaceful way. And then when the time is right, point them towards the books. Let them read, let them educate themselves a little bit more. And then our troubles will be slightly less, I'm hoping. Okay. So, yeah. So homeopathy is very intriguing for many people who are not students of homeopathy or practitioners of any healing modality. They could be regular but curious people who buy remedies in the health food store. They could be our clients, their relatives, friends, and neighbors who are quite interested in learning about homeopathy, and very adeptly they find tons of information on the internet. Our job is to educate these individuals correctly, engage their intellect as well as feelings so that they remain committed to using homeopathy. We don't want to lose people who are wanting to use homeopathy. We want to include them. We want to embrace them in our circle. As they are committed to using homeopathy amongst scores and scores of alternative healing modalities. The worst thing we can do is to mumble incoherent and partially understood jargons of homeopathic art and science and spit this out to our clients who ask us questions. And even worse that we can do is if we ignore their question as a means of hiding our own ignorance. If we ever wish to become competent homeopaths, our grasp of the basics has to be firm. And to further help our enthusiastic clients' education in homeopathy, we could distribute and display in our office reception area reader-friendly brochures and flyers that present various facts and figures of homeopathy. Give out old copies of homeopathy journal is also a very good idea. Don't throw out old journals. They never get old, actually. And you never know which one of your clients will read one freak journal and his or her life will change. They could be the next homeopath in our town, in our respective town. Sorry. Vital force. I love that. I absolutely love these questions. Vital force. What the bleep is it anyway? Because I've heard the actual word that goes in the place of bleep. I don't want to say it, even though we are in the happy hour. So I'll just use what the bleep is it anyway? Vital force. What you see depends on what you're ready to. I have had elaborate discussions about vital force, its meaning and purpose with a few clients. Some accept it as a spark of the divine that resides in us and also within every molecule, atom, subatomic particle in the entire creation, in the universe, in the cosmos. Some others consider it no more than life force that keeps the body functioning till we are alive. At death, the vital force leaves the body, they agree, but it has nothing to do with the divine, they say. You're alive, you have a vital force, you're dead, the vital force is gone, bye-bye. Do not drag sweet Jesus into the equation. Correct. We should not drag anything into any equation. The lesson here is a simple expression about the vital force is better and more accessible for most people. Each person is free to understand vital force in ways that work for them. Homeopathy works across board, irrespective of what people think or say about the vital force. It doesn't matter. Each individual, all of us, each one of us are in our own trajectory of learning about life, about soul, about the divine, the spark of the divine, and so on. All of us are trying to make sense of life, truth, and death in our own way. One is not right or wrong. There is no absolute right or wrong, better or worse than others. One is not right or wrong, better or worse than the other. Vital force is a biophysiological power that keeps us functioning through health and disease. This definition has saved my day many times. It is simple enough, scientific enough. A word like biophysiological are easy on the ears than contentious and divisive words like soul, divine, and God. I've learned to not engage in giving metaphysical definitions of the vital force or try to explain it as something scientific that can be proven in the laboratory. Both of them are losing battles. So let us find a middle ground. Does homeopathy work okay with other treatments? Let's find out. Here you go. More and more, I'm seeing that homeopathy is one of the many healing modalities people engage in. It is not the only one. People go to, as you know, in Hahnemann's time, they went to the homeopath. That's it. People go to their general practitioners, MD specialists, surgeons, psychotherapists, acupuncturists, herbalists, naturopath, massage therapists, aura readers, chakra specialists, psychic mediums, yoga instructors, hairstylists, nutritionist, astrologer, chiropractor. You can go on and on. They are quite up to date with their blood work, various diagnostic imaging and scans. Some of them are also very diligent about taking prescription medications, and they do still want to try homeopathy for what it is worth without giving anything else up. They will not give up anything. They want to do whatever they can. When a client comes to us, we work hard at receiving the case, then spend time doing repertorization and selecting the best matching remedy. We are trained to consider the timeline, epigenetic factors, miasms, modalities, concomitants, strange, rare, and peculiar symptoms of the body, mind, and emotions, spirit, and then choose the best similinum. It's a hard work. Nobody said you become a homeopath, life will be a walk in the park. Nobody said that. Despite this Herculean effort, are we sure that our approach is correct? We and our clients will get gratifying results that we can directly attribute to the well-chosen similinum? Or do our clients get better because of the latest supplements they are on and because their massage therapist is really good at going into the root of the problem? Can we dissuade our clients from these notions? Should we even try to say to them, stop running around all over the place, save your money, try one thing at a time and see what results you get. Give it a good 6 months. If nothing happens, you go try something else. I have personally abstained from making such recommendations based on my observation and gut feeling that the clients have a need to explore every available option that might make them healthier, suffer a little less, be happy a little more. They're not ready to put all their eggs in one basket, and we should not force them to or insist on that. The lesson I learned here, and you might see it in your own practice as well, convincing people about what they should or should not do for their health and how they how they could get most value for their money is not included in the job description of homeopaths. People have to have the freedom to explore and not be told what to do. When this freedom is curtailed, people are turned away. They go looking for a more supportive practitioner. But when a client genuinely asks for our opinion, we are free to say this. And this is the truth. In our perception of truth, it fits well. Homeopathy works at a deep level, handles symptoms of the body, mind, and spirit without causing any suppression. Homeopathic remedies are non-toxic, non-addictive, and have no side effects. Homeopathic treatment process is a non-invasive and can be used for pregnant women, newborns, infants, adolescents, young and old people, even people in their 98 years of age, beyond. But we have to choose our words wisely, and we cannot make a promise that homeopathy will treat and cure every ailment known to humankind. Besides, we cannot criticize and condemn any other healing modality that our client wish to explore. Remember, what goes around comes around. In Hahnemann's time, he had that big, massive fight with the then mainstream medicine. That fight started 250 years ago and still continuing contentious battle. What's the point? Let everybody give it a try. Whoever can make our clients better, let them be the winner. Okay. But we will speak the truth. And we will let the clients have the freedom of choice, freedom to explore. Next one. Everybody recognizes this, right? I love this, Benji. $100 bill. I love it. Absolutely. So, chasing money, how about that? Right? Let us agree. We all can nod our head on that. Money is the grease that moves the wheel of the world. We love it, like it, hate it, have a little or a lot of it. But irrespective of that, we all need it to pay our bills, go to JAHC, pay the fee there, educate ourselves and our kids, and put food on the table. I have often been asked for a sliding scale, outright discount, partial payment plan, bartering services, and even free treatment and free remedies and so on. Many people have asked me that. One client offered to pay me half of my fee after the consultation and the other half after he sees a positive result. I'm sure he does not negotiate the same deal with his plumber or dentist or electrician. How come he feels he can get away with such a deal with a homeopath? Huh. It is human nature. If someone senses a venue for making a deal in their favor, they are going to use that venue with no consideration for the other. Generally, this is true. I also recall another client who described her financial struggles and poverty at every session. And instead of paying me just $10 for her session, saying, "This is all I can afford. I promise I'll pay the rest later. You keep a tab for me." I went along for a while. In one of the follow-ups, and she was getting darn good result, even though I was not getting any much money out of that. She brought in her herbal tea in a handmade ceramic mug, beautiful mug that had the word Montreal written across. I saw that. We chatted for a while. She was joyfully breathless, describing her wonderful 3-week vacation in Montreal when she dined out, went to museums, and shopped till she dropped. "Canadian dollar is cheap. You can get a lot for US dollar," she said, and a bell rang in my mind. Surely she could not have said to the maitre d' in a restaurant, "I can only pay you $10 for the meal." He'll get her out. Surely no museum will allow her to enter for free either. And although almost all businesses accept credit cards, she can pay down her debt over several years. She has to have some baseline income to carry a credit card. So in the end, all cry of poverty was a show particularly presented to a kind-hearted homeopath. I mean, I was the fool in the equation. The lesson here is our fee is the measurable feature of the unique service we provide as professionals in a healing modality. Our fee is also a token of respect to all our fellow practitioners who derive either full or part of their livelihood from practicing their profession. Our clients have to be politely but strictly trained about honoring our time and effort by paying on time, promptly, and without having us chase them. If our clients start bargaining and negotiating a deal, then we have to be firm about our boundaries and decide upfront if we do indeed want to accept this client in our practice or not. We have to be clear in our own mind. People will do what they want to do, but we have to have that clarity about what we are doing, what we can offer, what is our principle that sustains us. We have to have that clarity. I love this one too. Do we keep taking homeopathic remedies for rest of our life? I'm told the homeopaths are known to keep changing remedies and having us revisit for follow-up. So people want to know how long the relationship is going to continue. Is it forever? Is it for 2 years, 6 months, 5 days? What is it? So technically, practically, it is not 100% of the time possible to hit the bullseye with one remedy and make the presenting complaint go away completely and forever. If we could pull off such a feat, even for a few patients in our clients in our practice, we would be known as miracle workers and magicians instead of homeopaths. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen all the time. We have to try. We make mistakes too. We could hope that our clients are not critically ill and have a ton of money to spend on finding relief through one remedy after another and continue to be in our practice forever. But sometimes the reality of our practice is quite different from this imaginary scenario. Most clients come to us during crisis. After having tried and failed with every other practitioner, they want to be relieved of their suffering with one or a few doses of a remedy. We get a small window of opportunity when we can try to get a positive outcome or at least provide significant relief in the area of the main complaint. Clients are suffering and expecting a miracle. Of course, they want to get better. And many times they come to the homeopath as the last resort, okay? And they want the result, absolutely. But if nothing has shifted for the clients after a few doses and they're still suffering, what to do? People's budget for alternative practices is limited. No insurance covers homeopathy if you're not a medically trained practitioner. So the lesson here is when you cannot get, for me, I learned that and I'm sharing with you. When you cannot get result quickly and satisfactorily enough, do send the client to another practitioner. Have a little collection of your friends, your peers, whom you respect, whose method of work you feel comfortable referring them to other practitioners, a bunch of them, not just one practitioner, a bunch of them. So do not waste your client's time and money. If you don't find result in a reasonable time frame, you send them along with your blessings. I learned this lesson early on when a client came crying about her post-herpetic neuralgia pain. That's really bad, really, really bad. And the most highly indicated top 3 remedies did nothing. In such a scenario, we have to pause and look at the situation from the client's perspective. Sometimes we have to put ourselves in their shoes with some empathy and think what we would do in a similar situation if we were suffering like they are suffering. When a client is suffering and need relief now and our remedies are not working, then sending them off to another practitioner is a sensible thing to do. It saves them time and money, and perchance the other practitioner might get lucky in finding a simillimum that actually works. So I have done that, and few years after moving them along, they come right back. So I said, what happened? I'm very surprised that I sent them away and they came back. So I asked them, I sent you away, but you're back here. I'm happy to see you, but what do you mean? So they say, you were honest about what you could do and what you couldn't do. They sensed that I was working in their favor. I was not just after their money or grab them as a patient and keep them for the rest of my life. No, I was concerned for them. And they saw that. And they said, I like that you were honest. You couldn't solve it. You sent me away. The other practitioner was very good. I got treated. I'm back to you now. So I want to work with you. That's a happy thing. But that result could come when I was upfront about admitting that my intelligence is limited and I'm trying to help them. So please go somewhere else. Look, after all these 10 lessons, everything is said and done. We have to be aware of the fact that our practice is for the well-being of our clients. We spend years learning our craft, spending thousands of dollars in earning continuing education units by attending seminars, webinars, and conferences. We publish, we write, we invest in our office supplies and spend a fortune growing the collection of books and remedies. All along the way, we have to keep learning from our experiences, learning from life itself, and learning from our clients too. No client is too small to teach us anything, teach us something. It is also about our own growth as an individual. When we commit ourselves to creating and sustaining a practice that includes searching for wellness for our clients and helping them find relief from their suffering, our lifelong learning from experiences in the school of hard knocks would certainly help us finding fulfillment, meaning, and purpose in the healing work that we are destined to do. So we see our clients not as clients who come begging for help to us. We see our clients as source of our personal growth in life's journey. They are there to teach us very, very valuable lesson. We have to be ready to learn it. And that is what I learned in my rural practice in Costa Rica as well as in Vermont. So thank you very much for sparing this happy hour to listen to me yapping away about these lessons and experiences. And please feel free to ask any question. No question is too small in the game of life. So all yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Vatsala. Thank you so much.